Listen to me carefully right now as you sit there. Another second just passed, another minute, another hour, and you'll never get it back. People love to say, next year I'll start. Next month I'll begin. When the time's right, I'll change. But the truth, the time was right the moment you said you wanted to change. The clock doesn't wait for motivation. The clock doesn't care about your feelings. The clock doesn't care if you're tired, broke, sad, or lost. It keeps ticking. Every single tick is a warning that your window is closing. You've got 2 months before the world turns the page to 2026. 2 months before everyone posts their fake resolutions and promises they'll break within a week. You have 2 months to separate yourself from the crowd of talkers and become a doer. You think 2 months is not enough time to change your life. That's the lie average people tell themselves. Winners know 2 months of locked in focused, consistent effort can rewrite an entire story. You can build habits that change the course of your next decade. You can create momentum so powerful, it will make everyone question how you flip everything so fast. It's not about the time you have, it's about the intensity you bring to it. The difference between the man who succeeds and the man who fails isn't the calendar, it's the urgency. One waits for a date, the other makes every day count. You've been comfortable too long. You've been convincing yourself that starting fresh next year will magically solve your problems. It won't. The same habits, same mindset, same laziness, same distractions, they'll follow you straight into 2026 unless you decide to kill them now. The man you're supposed to become is waiting for you to stop wasting time. He's not patient. He's angry. He's tired of being stuck inside your excuses. You owe him results. You owe him discipline. You owe him effort. Think about how much time you've thrown away this year. How many hours you've spent scrolling, watching, talking about success instead of building it. How many mornings you've hit snooze because you didn't feel like it. All those lost hours added up. And the painful truth, nobody cares. Nobody's coming to rescue you. The world doesn't pause for you to get your life together. If you don't use these next 2 months, someone else will. While you waste your days, another person out there is using the exact same time to build the life you want. He's training, he's learning, he's stacking wins while you're stuck thinking about it. Urgency creates pressure, and pressure is what makes diamonds. You need to stop running from it and start embracing it. When the clock is ticking, your focus sharpens. When the deadline is near, you stop overthinking and start doing. You start realizing that comfort is the biggest enemy you have. Comfort whispers lies. You have time. You can rest now. You'll do it later. But later never comes. Later is the graveyard of ambition. The people who win in life treat time like a currency more valuable than money. Because money lost can be earned again, but time spent is gone forever. Every time you waste a day, you're writing a receipt for regret. I want you to feel that urgency in your veins. I want you to wake up tomorrow and realize that every second is a weapon if you use it right. There are 60 days left. That's 60 opportunities to outwork everyone who's doubting you. 60 chances to build a new mindset, a new body, a new discipline, a new future. Every single day matters. You can't afford to treat any of them like a throwaway day. You need to wake up before the sun and move like a man on a mission. Not because you're desperate, but because you refuse to waste any more time being average. You don't need another plan. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need someone to tell you how to start. You already know what you need to do. You've always known. What you lack is urgency. The hunger that makes you act now instead of tomorrow. The fire that makes you move before you're ready. You think success waits for you to feel confident? No. Success rewards the one who moves before he's comfortable. The man who acts while others hesitate. Every second that passes is either working for you or against you. You are either building momentum or losing it. And the scary part, you won't realize how much time you've wasted until it's too late. You'll look back and wonder why you didn't take the last 2 months seriously, why you didn't push harder when you had the chance. But if you lock in right now, not next week, not tomorrow, right now you can flip everything. You can end this year on fire. With momentum so powerful, it'll launch you into 2026 like a rocket. Time doesn't care about your comfort. The clock doesn't negotiate. It doesn't feel sorry for you. You can either let it beat you, or you can use it to become unstoppable. Every tick of that clock is a challenge. What are you doing with it? They're watching you. Every single one of them. The people who doubted you, the ones who laughed when you said you were going to change, the ones who rolled their eyes when you talked about your dreams, they're waiting for you to fail again, waiting for you to quit like you always do, waiting for you to prove them right. But what they don't know is that this time, you're not doing it for their approval. You're doing it to destroy every ounce of doubt they ever had about you. Every time you said, I'll show them, this is the moment you meant. The next 2 months are not about survival. They're about domination. You don't whisper success, you show it so loud they can't ignore it. Your enemies are watching, but that's not something to fear. That's fuel. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them say you've changed, because while they talk, you move. While they scroll, you grind. You don't need to explain your silence, your focus, your obsession. Real men don't announce their comeback, they build it quietly and let the results explode. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You owe yourself a transformation. And when you finally rise, they'll have no choice but to respect what they can't understand. Most people don't understand how much power hate holds when you channel it correctly. Everyone runs from criticism. Everyone complains about not being understood. But that energy, that doubt, that negativity, that mockery is pure fuel. Every time someone underestimates you, you have two choices. You can argue with them, or you can let your success turn their words into silence. You don't fight small battles with small people. You win the war by showing results so undeniable that no amount of gossip can touch you. Do you know why the average man stays average? Because he wants to be liked. He wants validation. He wants everyone to clap for him. The truth is, the path to greatness is lonely because it requires you to walk past people who once mattered. It forces you to stop caring what anyone thinks. The day you stop chasing approval is the day you become dangerous. When you realize that your haters are your best motivators, you start viewing life differently. You stop hiding your ambition. You stop downplaying your potential. You stop pretending you're not built for more. Imagine this: the same people who said you'd never make it will one day search your name online. They'll replay your videos. They'll study your moves. They'll pretend they always believed in you. That's the irony of success. The same crowd that mocked you will eventually cheer for you, but only after you've proven them wrong. And you don't prove them wrong by talking. You prove them wrong by becoming unrecognizable. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice to make. You can give your haters exactly what they expect: excuses, laziness, mediocrity, or you can give them a show they'll never forget. When they doubt your discipline, you go harder. When they mock your goals, you double down. When they hope you fail, you make failure impossible. Their disbelief should be the music you train to. Their criticism should be the alarm that gets you out of bed. The sound of their doubt should be your reminder that there's work to do. Because here's the truth: nothing hurts a hater more than silence and success. When you stop arguing, stop defending, stop posting about what you're going to do, and start doing it relentlessly, you take away their control. You leave them with nothing to attack. All they can do is watch. And that's when the power shifts. The same eyes that look down on you will now look up. The same mouths that laughed will fall silent. The same people who thought they knew you will realize they never did. You need to become obsessed with turning disrespect into discipline. Every insult, every doubt, every joke they made about you, it's a seed of fuel. You water it with effort, you feed it with consistency, and it grows into the kind of success that shuts the world up. The ones who laughed when you started will be quiet when you finish. The ones who dismissed you will regret not believing. But they won't matter anymore, because by then, you'll have evolved into someone who doesn't even recognize the version of you they mocked. Don't let their words break you, let them sharpen you. Let their disbelief remind you that you're chasing something most people are too weak to attempt. You're not supposed to be understood right now. You're supposed to be doubted, criticized, underestimated. That's what happens to every person who's about to do something extraordinary. Greatness doesn't come with applause at the beginning. It comes with silence and doubt. You earn the applause later. When you walk into the gym, when you sit down to work, when you push through fatigue, I want you to remember the names of everyone who said you couldn't. Not with anger, but with precision. They gave you a gift, the gift of pressure, the gift of expectation, the gift of something to prove. Let that fuel you. Let it drive you. Let it become your advantage. Because while they waste time watching, you'll be using that same time to win. And when the year ends, they'll still be talking while you'll be living what they thought was impossible. Pain, pressure, progress. 3 words that define every man who's ever built something great. You see, most people run from pain like it's a curse, but that's because they don't understand it. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the proof that you're alive, that you're fighting, that you're pushing against the limits of what you were yesterday. Weak people hide from discomfort. Strong people hunt it. The moment you feel pain, that's the signal that growth is happening. Muscles tear before they grow. Confidence cracks before it becomes solid. You have to suffer before you become unshakable. The world lied to you when it told you that you should feel good all the time. The truth is, the more pain you can handle, the more progress you'll make. You think the people at the top are there because life was kind to them. No, they bled for it. They struggled. They went through seasons of silence where no one clapped, no one believed, no one supported them, and yet they kept going. Because pressure doesn't destroy the right man, it forges him, the same heat that melts plastic-hardened steel. When life starts applying pressure, when everything feels heavy, that's the universe asking you, how bad do you want it? Every setback, every failure, every rejection is pressure molding you into something tougher. You either fold or you form. You either complain or you conquer. Everyone says they want success until they realize how much pain it demands. You'll lose sleep. You'll lose people. You'll lose comfort. You'll doubt yourself. And in those moments when you're exhausted, alone, and questioning if it's worth it, that's when most people quit. But that's also the moment the few who keep going separate themselves from the crowd forever. Because growth lives on the other side of pain. Every time you push past what hurts, you unlock a stronger version of yourself. Every moment of pressure is a test not to punish you, but to prepare you. When you wake up tired and still choose to show up, you're building something inside that no one can take away. When you fail and still keep your chin up, you're growing in silence while everyone else is stuck complaining. Progress isn't loud, it's quiet. It's built in those lonely hours where no one sees your effort. The pain you feel today is shaping the man who will dominate tomorrow. So stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Every bruise, every loss, every sleepless night is teaching you resilience, discipline, and emotional control, the 3 currencies of success. You can't expect strength without struggle. You can't become unbreakable if you've never been broken. Every scar you've earned is a chapter in your story. Stop hiding them. They're the proof that you kept going when most would have stopped. The world celebrates winners, but what they never talk about is the blood underneath the victory. The late nights, the heartbreaks, the failures, the pain that's the real foundation of success. Without pressure, you stay soft. Without pain, you stay weak. Without struggle, you stay the same. You have to start seeing pain differently. Stop viewing it as punishment and start seeing it as progress in disguise. The pain of discipline will always be lighter than the pain of regret. You can suffer now through focus, effort, and sacrifice, or you can suffer later through guilt, envy, and missed opportunities. Either way, you're gonna feel pain, so choose the kind that builds you, not the kind that breaks you. Every time you push yourself through a hard workout,
every time you force yourself to focus when you're distracted, every time you stay consistent when you feel lazy, you're building pressure tolerance. You're teaching your mind that pain is normal, that discomfort is a signal to go harder, not stop. You know what's dangerous? A man who's comfortable in chaos, a man who's calm in the storm, a man who's trained his mind to operate under pressure, because when everyone else panics, he moves with precision. When everyone else gives up, he adapts. That's what pressure training does. It hardens you mentally. You stop reacting emotionally. You start making decisions like a machine. That's when life starts to bend in your favor. Not because it got easier, but because you got stronger. Remember, the pain you feel is temporary, but the strength it gives you is permanent. One day you'll look back and realize that the hardest moments were the ones that built you the most. Every heartbreak made you colder. Every failure made you smarter. every challenge made you sharper. You are being tested because the version of you that can handle success is still under construction. Don't run from that process. Embrace it. Pressure is not there to break you, it's there to introduce you to yourself. Most people never meet their true potential because they tap out too early. They stop when it hurts. They look for comfort when life is calling them to rise. But not you. Not anymore. You're not here to avoid pain, you're here to master it. You're here to take pressure, use it, and let it refine you into something untouchable. When you stop fearing pain, when you stop resisting pressure, you become unstoppable. Because now, nothing can hurt you. Every hit makes you stronger. Every setback becomes fuel. Every ounce of pressure becomes progress. Motivation is for the weak. Discipline is for the strong. You can be motivated one day and lazy the next, but discipline doesn't care about moods. It doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't care about inspiration. Discipline is what separates the talkers from the doors. Motivation whispers, but discipline commands. You can watch 1,000 motivational videos, but when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m., it's not motivation that drags you out of bed, it's discipline. The world doesn't reward people who act when they feel good. It rewards those who act no matter how they feel. People always say, I just need to feel motivated again. No, you don't. You need to stop being a slave to your emotions. You need to stop waiting for a feeling and start building a standard. You need to wake up and understand that your goals don't care about your mood. Your purpose doesn't pause because you're tired. Your dreams don't get closer because you watched another speech. They get closer when you execute, when you commit, when you keep going, even when every part of you screams to stop. Discipline is doing what must be done whether you feel like it or not. Every single great man in history had days where he didn't want to show up, but he showed up anyway. That's the difference. That's what defines greatness. When the excitement dies, when no one's watching, when progress feels slow, when comfort starts calling, that's when discipline takes over. Motivation fades with emotion, but discipline grows with repetition. The more you do it, the stronger it becomes. It's a muscle. The more you train it, the more it controls your life instead of your feelings controlling you. Most people live like emotional addicts. They chase the next burst of motivation like junkies chasing a high. They want to feel ready. They want to feel inspired. But the truth is, the world doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Success doesn't knock politely, it demands consistency. If you're waiting to feel perfect before you start, you'll die waiting. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what to do. You wake up, you move, you execute, and you repeat. You follow the plan even when you hate it, because that's where the magic happens, in the repetition, in the boredom, in the grind that no one sees. You think warriors, athletes, billionaires, and champions are motivated every day. They're not. They've just learned to obey their discipline more than their emotions. They treat every day like a mission. Whether they're tired, sad, angry, or bored, they execute. Because they know something the average man doesn't. An emotion is temporary, but habits are permanent. When you make discipline a habit, your life stops depending on how you feel and starts depending on who you are. You have to stop identifying as a motivated person. Motivation is for children. Discipline is for killers. When you're disciplined, you move with purpose. You don't negotiate with laziness. You don't bargain with distraction. You don't need energy to get started. Starting gives you energy. You wake up, you grind, and you do it again the next day. Discipline doesn't mean you love the work. It means you respect the mission. You show up even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is clapping, because you know consistency beats talent every single time. Let me tell you something powerful. Discipline is freedom. People think discipline is restriction, but it's the opposite. The disciplined man is free because he controls his time, his body, his emotions, his focus. The undisciplined man is a slave to his moods, to his cravings, to his distractions. The disciplined man says no to what weakens him, and because of that, he owns himself. The undisciplined man says yes to everything that feels good in the moment, and because of that, he loses control of his life. Every time you choose discipline, you take back power. You're not tired, you're undisciplined. You're not stuck, you're inconsistent. You're not unlucky, you're unfocused. Every excuse you've ever used is just an emotional shield protecting your laziness. Discipline cuts through all of that. It doesn't care about the weather, the opinions, the obstacles. It cares about one thing: results. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you build a piece of armor. Every time you push through resistance, you become mentally stronger. Every time you keep going after failure, you harden your spirit. That's how warriors are made, not through hype, but through habit. The truth is, discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect. You say you love yourself, then prove it. Keep your promises to yourself. Follow through when no one's watching. Don't break your own word. Every time you tell yourself you'll do something and you actually do it, you build trust with yourself. Every time you lie to yourself, every time you skip, every time you quit, you weaken that trust. Discipline is how you rebuild it. Discipline is how you earn your own respect. So, when you don't feel like training, do it anyway. When you don't feel like working, do it anyway. When your mind says stop, keep moving. You don't owe the world your emotions, you owe it your execution. You can't control motivation, but you can control discipline. And when you master that, you become unstoppable, because now nothing can dictate your actions, not laziness, not sadness, not fear. You move on command. You operate on standards, not feelings. You become the kind of person who doesn't need hype to perform, because performing is who you are. And once you reach that level, you don't chase results, results chase you. Silence is a weapon. Disappearing is strategy. The problem with most people is that they talk too much and work too little. They announce every move, they post every plan, they crave validation before they even earn victory. You can't build an empire while begging for applause. You can't focus when your energy is scattered everywhere. If you want to win these next 2 months, if you want to walk into 2026 as a completely different person, you need to go ghost. You need to vanish from nonsense, noise, and negativity. You need to isolate yourself from everything that keeps you comfortable, distracted, and average. Because greatness grows in silence, not in attention. People will never understand your grind, and that's fine, they're not supposed to. Stop trying to explain your vision to people who can't even see their own. Stop talking about your goals to friends who don't have any. Stop surrounding yourself with people who drain your fire just because they can't light their own. You owe it to yourself to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Every time you waste your time in useless conversations, gossip, or endless scrolling, you're killing your focus. You're letting your potential bleed out one notification at a time. Isolation isn't loneliness, it's concentration. You're not cutting people off, you're cutting distractions out. You're not avoiding the world, you're building your own. You need to enter a season where it's just you, your plan, and your discipline. No opinions, no noise, no validation. Just work. You disappear not because you're weak, but because you're evolving. The caterpillar doesn't post updates from inside the cocoon. It transforms in silence and lets the world meet the butterfly. That's exactly what you need to do. Go dark. Let them think you fell off. Let them assume you gave up. And when they least expect it, appear again, unrecognizable, sharper, stronger, unstoppable. You need to understand something: silence is misunderstood power. When you stop broadcasting every step, people get uncomfortable. They start guessing what you're up to. They start watching more closely. That's the beauty of going ghost. Your mystery becomes your advantage. While they're busy talking, you're busy building. While they waste time debating your choices, you're stacking results in private. Your silence speaks louder than any post ever could. This is the time to go internal. Think about how much energy you've been giving away for free. Every argument, every debate, every pointless distraction. All that energy could have been used to build something. You have 60 days left before the new year. Imagine what would happen if, for just 2 months, you disappeared into your own world of discipline. You wake up, train, work, learn, build, and repeat. No updates, no distractions, no explanations. Just focus. You'd be shocked how much progress you can make when you stop talking about it and start living it. The reason most people never reach the next level is because they're too busy being seen instead of becoming something worth seeing. They want recognition more than results, but recognition comes after. Results are what create the noise you're chasing. If you spend your energy on proving you're grinding instead of actually grinding, you'll never move. The best revenge, the best statement, the best answer is silence followed by undeniable success. Going ghost is a mental reset. It's where you find out
who you really are when no one's watching. It's where you confront your weakness, your habits, your excuses. It's where you strip away every layer of comfort and expose the truth. How bad do you actually want it? Because when there's no one to impress, when there's no one to clap for you, when there's no one to post for, all that's left is you versus your effort. That's where transformation begins. You have to be willing to detach. Detach from noise. Detach from validation. Detach from the addiction of being seen. The most dangerous man is the one who doesn't need attention to feel valuable. He moves in silence, and his results echo everywhere he goes. When you become that person, when you stop caring about being noticed and start obsessing over being effective, you become untouchable. Because now, your self-worth isn't built on opinions, it's built on evidence. Use these next 2 months to master isolation, not in sadness, but in strength. Wake up earlier than everyone. Train harder than anyone. Read more, learn more, move more. Don't announce it, don't post it, just let the work speak. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you're upgrading. Every time you choose silence over attention, you're multiplying your energy. Every time you choose discipline over validation, you're building power that can't be measured. When you go ghost, you realize how much of your life has been controlled by noise. You start thinking clearer, moving faster, and feeling stronger. You realize you never needed to be seen, you just needed to be committed. Silence gives you space to rebuild, to sharpen, to evolve. You're not lost, you're reloading. You're not forgotten, you're preparing. Because when the time comes, when 2026 hits, you'll step back into the light with results so undeniable that every second you spent in silence will make sense. So, disappear for a while, no explanations, no noise, just work, because real power doesn't shout, it whispers. And when it finally speaks, the world listens. 2 months, 60 days. That's all you've got left before the clock hits 2026. And in those 60 days, you have one mission: become unrecognizable. Not slightly better, not a little improved, unrecognizable. The version of you that walks into the next year should make people question how you changed so fast, how you leveled up so hard, how you went from distracted to dangerous in such a short time. Because this is your final lap, and how you finish this year will decide how you start the next one. You don't rise in January, you rise now. You don't become disciplined later, you lock in now. The next 60 days are the test that separates those who wish from those who win. Every man gets the same days, the same hours, the same chance, but very few use them correctly. The weak waste them waiting for a fresh start. The strong use them to finish strong. That's what you're going to do. You're not entering 2026 as the same man who's been procrastinating, doubting, and hesitating. You're walking into it as a weapon. You're walking into it with results, momentum, and proof. You're walking into it as someone who decided that these final 2 months were not going to be wasted. They were going to be the turning point. Most people will spend the rest of this year doing what they've always done: talking, planning, hoping. They'll tell themselves they'll start after the holidays. Start in the new year. Start when life settles down. But you know what that means? They'll never start. They'll carry the same habits, the same excuses, the same weakness into another year of mediocrity. That's not you. You're done repeating the same cycle. You're done being almost great. You're done letting potential rot because you're scared of pressure. You're done letting laziness disguise itself as patience. You need to use these 60 days to upgrade every part of yourself: your body, your mind, your discipline, your habits. You don't need a new plan, you need new intensity. You don't need more time, you need more focus. Every morning, when you wake up, ask yourself one question: would the man I want to become respect the way I'm moving right now? If the answer is no, change immediately. The goal is simple. When 2026 starts, you look back at the man you were in October and you can't even recognize him. He was slower, weaker, lazier, distracted. You now are sharper, faster, focused, unstoppable. Becoming unrecognizable isn't about money or status. It's about mindset. It's about energy. It's about the way you move, the way you think, the way you show up. It's when people look at you and say, something's different, and they're right, something is. You finally decided you've had enough of being average. You finally decided to stop talking about potential and start living it. You finally decided that every ounce of energy you waste on excuses could be turned into action. That's what transformation looks like. It's not glamorous, it's quiet, it's brutal. It's built on consistency, sacrifice, and focus that most people can't handle. You've got to start operating like the man you're trying to become, not the one you've been. You've got to move with the discipline of the winner you want to be, not the habits of the loser you used to be. You can't live the same and expect different results. You can't hang around the same people, do the same things, think the same thoughts, and somehow end up with a new life. If you want to change your life, you have to become the kind of person who earns that change. That means sacrifice. That means consistency. That means late nights, early mornings, and long hours of silence where no one sees your progress but you. And when the world does notice, when people start asking how you changed so much, you'll know the answer. You didn't wait. You didn't make excuses. You didn't need January 1st to decide to get serious. You locked in when everyone else was sleeping. You built while everyone else was talking. You focused while everyone else was distracted. And because of that, when the year flips, you won't be starting from zero. You'll already be ahead. You'll already have momentum. You'll already be moving like a man on fire. That's the difference between people who dream and people who execute. Dreamers talk about goals. Executors build them. Dreamers wait for the right time. Executors make every time the right time. Dreamers hope things get better. Executors make things better. You have 2 months to prove which one you are. Every rep, every step, every decision counts now. The pressure is real, but that's what makes it valuable. Because diamonds only form when the heat is highest. The next 60 days are your furnace. Enter it willingly, burn away weakness, and emerge harder, sharper, stronger. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone a warning. You owe yourself proof. Proof that you can be consistent. Proof that you can keep your word. Proof that you can execute even when no one believes in you. That's how you become unrecognizable, when you finally decide that the man you are right now is not enough, and you build the version of yourself who is. The version that moves with purpose, thinks with clarity, and acts with power. The version that doesn't fold under pressure, but uses it as fuel. The version that people can't compare to who you were, because that person doesn't even exist anymore. 2 months, 60 days. That's not a countdown, it's an opportunity. You can either coast into the new year like everyone else, or you can walk in as a completely different animal. The choice is yours. Every day you waste is a day you could have been evolving. Every excuse you make is another chain tying you to the man you're supposed to leave behind. You've spent enough time talking, enough time waiting, enough time planning. Now it's time to build. Now it's time to prove that this version of you doesn't just want it, he's ready to earn it. Because the next time someone sees you, they shouldn't recognize you at all. This is at the final stretch, the last 60 days standing between who you are and who you were meant to become. Everything you've been through this year, every failure, every setback, every doubt, it was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you for this moment. Because right now, you're not chasing time anymore, you're chasing transformation. And transformation doesn't happen when you talk about it, it happens when you act like there's no tomorrow left to waste. You've got to understand something. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand you the life you dream about. The world rewards proof, not promises. So these last 2 months are where you prove it. Prove that you can stay disciplined when motivation dies. Prove that you can stay focused when distractions scream. Prove that you can stay consistent when it's not easy. Because when 2026 arrives, you're either going to look back with pride or you're going to look back with regret. And that choice is being written right now in how you move today, tomorrow, and every single day after that. The world won't remember your excuses. It won't remember what you plan to do. It'll only remember what you built, what you became, and what you conquered. That's what matters. So lock in. Forget the noise. Forget the opinions. Forget the past. You've got 2 months to create a version of yourself that makes every second of pain worth it. 2 months to silence doubt and remind yourself who you really are. 2 months to show the world that you weren't done, you were just getting started. When the new year comes and the clock hits midnight, don't be the one who says, "This year will be my year." Be the one who already made it yours. Walk into 2026 with fire in your chest, results in your hands, and silence in your mind. Because you'll know you didn't wait for the world to change. You change yourself first. And once you do that, no one can stop you. There's a man out there right now, no smarter than you, no better than you, but he's taking your future. While you sit there hesitating, waiting for the right moment, he's making moves. He's getting richer, he's getting stronger, he's taking everything that could be yours. And when you wake up in 5 years, broke, invisible, forgotten, you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Because the truth is, the world doesn't care about you. It only rewards the bold. So tell me, are you ready to stop being a spectator in your own life? Or are you going to keep watching other men take what you were too scared to claim? You feel it, don't you? That gnawing, suffocating fear in the back of your mind, the one that whispers, what if I never make it? What if I waste my life? And let me tell you something, you should be afraid. Because every second you sit there, another man is stealing your destiny. He's making the money you should be making. He's living in the house you should own. He's driving the car you dream about. And the worst part, he's no better than you. The only difference, he took the risk and you didn't. And if you don't act now, if you don't make the decision to take control, you will lose forever. There are no second chances. There is no later. There is only now. And if you don't move, you'll be left behind. Listen, I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what excuses you've been telling yourself. If you're broke, fat, weak, depressed, or invisible to the world, that's your fault. No one is coming to save you. No one gives a damn. And if you think life is going to hand you success because you deserve it, you're already finished. Every single winner on this planet has felt exactly like you. Tired, unmotivated, stressed. But here's the difference. They kept going. They didn't sit around crying about how unfair life is. They saw the problem and they fixed it. Winners take action, losers make excuses. It really is that simple. You complain about stress. Stress is a gift. Stress is what sharpens the blade. Stress is what separates the weak from the powerful. The moment you start seeing stress as an enemy is the moment you accept a loser's fate. The weak fear stress, but the strong, we chase it. Because we understand pressure creates diamonds. You've been lied to your entire life. You were told that happiness is the goal. You were told that life should be easy, stress-free, comfortable. Bulls. The men who built empires, conquered nations, and left their mark on history, do you think they were chasing happiness? No, they were chasing greatness. They were chasing power. They were chasing something bigger than themselves. But you wake up every morning complaining, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't feel like it today. Shut up. Do you think the lions wake up and say, I don't feel like hunting today? No, because the second they stop hunting, they die. That's the reality of life. You hunt or you starve. You fight or you lose. You dominate. You want an easy life? You were born to lose. Do you think Alexander the Great wanted an easy life? Genghis Khan? The men who shaped history didn't sit around looking for comfort. They woke up every day ready for war. The truth is, life is war. You're at war with yourself. You're at war with weakness. You're at war with every man who wants what you want. And if you're not fighting, you're already losing. But Tate, I'm depressed. I don't care. Everyone feels down sometimes. I've been locked in a jail cell, attacked by governments, had everything ripped away from me, and I still get up and fight. What's your excuse? The difference between a winner and a loser isn't that the winner never feels bad. It's that he doesn't let it stop him. You're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself while the world takes everything from you. The system wants you weak. It wants you distracted. It wants you crying over your pathetic life instead of standing up and fixing it. And you're letting them win. Let me tell you something. No one cares about your problems. No one cares about your struggles. The only thing that matters in this world is whether you win or lose. And right now, you're losing. The good news? You can change that. But only if you wake up. Only if you realize that no one is coming to help you. You must become your own hero. You must wake up every morning with a mission to conquer, to dominate, to build the life you deserve. You can choose discipline or you can choose regret. One will make you a king, the other will make you a nobody. The choice is yours. Let me tell you a story, a real story. One that no school, no weak society, and no soft influencer will ever tell you because they don't want you to hear it. Once upon a time, there were two men. Both were born with nothing. No handouts, no shortcuts, no safety nets. They grew up in the same streets, faced the same struggles, saw the same opportunities. But one of them dared to take risks. The other, he played it safe. The first man looked at the world and said, "Everything is mine. I just haven't taken it yet." He saw the risks. He knew he could fail. He knew he could lose. He knew the path wouldn't be easy, but he went forward anyway because he understood the truth about life. No one gets rewarded for standing still. The second man, he feared risk. He feared loss. He stayed in his comfort zone, playing life like a game of chess, but never moving his pieces. He convinced himself that waiting was the answer, that maybe one day success would fall into his lap. It never did. Years passed. The first man, through trial, through hardship, through pure, unbreakable will, built an empire. He became the kind of man that others admire, respect, even fear. He took what he wanted. He created his own destiny. The second man, he became just another face in the crowd, forgotten, irrelevant, living paycheck to paycheck, watching others live the life he once dreamed of. All because he was afraid to take a risk. And that's exactly where you are right now. You stand at a crossroads. One path leads to power, wealth, respect, but it's a path built on risk. The other path, safety, mediocrity, a life of being ignored and overlooked. And that's the real risk. Think about this. What's more dangerous? Trying and failing, or never trying at all and living with regret for the rest of your life? Failure is temporary, regret is forever. People always ask me, "Tate, what if I take a risk and lose?" I say, then you get back up. That's the game. You don't win by avoiding the fight. You win by taking the hits, learning from them, and coming back stronger. And let's be clear, there is no such thing as a man who wins without risk. Look at the history books. Look at the billionaires, the kings, the warriors, the champions. Every single one of them bet on themselves. Every single one of them had moments where they could have lost everything. But here's where the story gets real. The men who refuse to risk always end up serving the men who do. That's the law of the world. The weak work for the strong. The fearful serve the brave. And every day you delay, every day you hesitate, you are making a choice. You are choosing to be a servant. No one is forcing you to be weak. You are choosing it. So ask yourself, are you the man who takes what he wants? Or are you the man who watches from the sidelines while someone else lives the life you could have had? Because the clock is ticking. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day too late. Let me ask you a question. How much time do you think you have? Because I'll tell you right now, you don't have as much as you think. Every second that ticks by is a second closer to your death. That's not fear-mongering, that's reality. You are going to die. And when you do, what will they say about you? Will they say you were a king, a warrior, a man who risked everything and took what he wanted? Or will they say he could have been great, but he was too scared? That fear you feel right now, the fear of taking a risk, the fear of stepping outside your comfort zone, it's nothing compared to the fear you'll feel on your deathbed, realizing you wasted your life. Regret is the most painful thing a man can experience. More painful than failure, more painful than struggle, because regret is permanent. You can recover from failure. You can rebuild after a loss. But you can never get back the years you wasted being weak, being afraid, being nothing. And let me be clear. No one is coming to save you. The world does not care about your excuses. It does not care about your feelings. You think life is unfair? Good, it is. You think people are born into better situations than you? Of course they are. But sitting around crying about it won't change a damn thing. The world rewards the men who take action, the men who stop complaining and start conquering, the dominant ones. Tell me, who do you think runs the world? The scared little cowards who play it safe? Or the men who look risk in the eye and say, try me? Power doesn't go to the best. Power doesn't go to the smartest. Power goes to the boldest. You think billionaires got there by playing it safe? You think kings built empires by waiting for permission? No. They took what was theirs. They bet on themselves when everyone else was too afraid. But you're sitting here hesitating, thinking, overanalyzing, letting fear make your decisions for you. You need to understand something. Every day you hesitate, you lose. Every time you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, you are training your mind to be weak. You are reinforcing a habit of failure. And guess what? Gets worse over time. The more you avoid risk, the more afraid you become. The more comfortable you get, the weaker you are. And eventually you'll be so far gone that you won't even recognize yourself. I've seen it happen. Grown men, 40 years old, with nothing to show for their lives. No power, no money, no respect, just regret. And here's the worst part. They could have had everything. They could have been great. They could have had the cars, the women, the success, but they hesitated. They let fear win. And now they live a life of quiet desperation, watching other men take what they were too scared to claim. If that doesn't terrify you, then I don't know what will.